Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited. We're over 500 subscribers now. Thank you all so much for your support. I'm so sorry to have been away for so long. I've not posted a video in over 2 months, but I promise you I'll be more consistent. And yeah, I'm gonna be creating more content for you guys. So today we're going to be making this shiny, beautiful chocolate ganache that is great for covering cakes, and when it's thinner you can also use it for chocolate drips on a cake. And in my next video I'm going to show you how I filled and covered a cake in the chocolate ganache. So please stay tuned for my next video and all the videos coming up. It's gonna be so exciting on this channel. Thank you. So we'll be starting off with our chocolate chips and whipping cream. For this recipe, we need 2 parts of chocolate and 1 part of whipping cream or heavy cream. So I'm going to be weighing the ingredients. It's more accurate if you weigh rather than just measuring in a cup. So I'm aiming for 16 ounces of chocolate chips. I'm using semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I'm weighing it out to have 16 ounces. And then we'll use 8 ounces of the heavy cream or whipping cream. So always do a 2:1 ratio. So now we'll weigh 8 ounces of the whipping cream. You can also weigh it in grams, but always make sure it's a 2:1 ratio, at least for filling and covering cakes. So I'll use 2 methods to make the ganache. The first method, I'll just add the cold cream into the chocolate and then microwave it at 30-second intervals, and then stir it until and repeat the process until the chocolate chips are all melted and we have this smooth mixture. So I did the first 30 seconds. I'm going to be putting it back in the microwave for another 30 seconds. You don't want to heat it up for a minute or more at a time because you can easily burn the chocolate. That's why we do it at 30-second intervals. So we'll keep doing that and stirring or whisking. You see it's gradually melting, but it still has some chunks of chocolate in it. So we'll keep doing that and stirring until it's all smooth. You can see there's still some chunks of chocolate, so I'm going to pop it again into the microwave for another 30 seconds. So I did it for a total of 1 minute and 30 seconds, and this third time it all melted. Even if it doesn't melt right away, you just keep stirring or whisking because the heat in the bowl is gonna keep melting the rest of the chocolate chips. You don't want to overheat it because you're gonna burn the chocolate. You're not gonna have a smooth, creamy ganache. So the bowl is still warm. I keep stirring until the rest of the chocolate melts and it's all smooth. So now you can see it's all melted. You have this nice smooth mixture. And at this stage, when it cools down a bit, you can use it for chocolate drips on a drip cake. But if you're going to use it to fill and cover a cake, it's good to leave it to firm up for at least 2 hours. So now we have our nice smooth mixture. Now I'm going to just clean the sides of the bowl with my spatula and then cover the bowl with plastic wrap. And I press it down to make sure the plastic wrap touches the chocolate so no crust forms when the chocolate cools down. So we'll set that aside and then do the second method. This time I'm using some dark chocolate, 70% cocoa. I had just a little bit left, so I'll just chop that up into little pieces. That helps it melt faster and more easily. And I'm going to take a risk here and mix this with some more chocolate chips. There are 2 different kinds of chocolate. But since I had this one, the leftover one, I'll just use it and then add some chocolate chips to it too. So we're going to do the same thing, weigh it. I was aiming for another 16 ounces, but unfortunately I didn't have enough for 16 ounces. But since you already know it's a 2:1 ratio, I ended up with like 14 ounces. So our heavy cream will have to be 7 ounces. So no matter the quantity you have, just make sure it's a 2:1 ratio. 2 parts of chocolate and 1 part of whipping cream. So this time we're going to do a different method. I'll first of all heat up the heavy cream in the microwave for about a minute, just so it gets warm. It gets hot, but not really like boiling. And then I just pour it over the chocolate. And then I make sure all the chocolate is immersed in the cream. And I don't start stirring right away. I leave it to rest for about a minute or 2. Just so it starts melting on its own before I start stirring. So after a minute or 2, I just start stirring. This time I'll just stir it with my spatula. You can use the whisk or the spatula. Just stir gradually and be patient. If it's a smaller quantity, just the first time, it might just all dissolve. But since it's much, it might not dissolve right away, so you might need to put it back in the microwave. But this time I'll put it in the microwave just for about 20 seconds. Because again, we don't want to burn the chocolate. As you can see, it's melting, but we still have chunks of chocolate. So we'll pop it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. It's always good to do less, to heat it up for a shorter time and do it over and over rather than doing it for a long time and burning it. So we'll keep stirring again until we get a smooth consistency. Yeah, it's melting, but we still have a few stubborn chocolate chips that are not melting yet. So I'm still going to pop it in the microwave, this time just for 10 seconds because it's almost completely melted. So 10 seconds will do to melt those last stubborn ones. Yeah, right now I see just one chocolate chip there that is not quite melted. So I'll just put it in for another 10 seconds. Okay, and there we go. We have put it in for for 10 seconds. And this time around it has melted completely. So you see it's all nice and smooth. So we'll do the same thing, scrape the sides of the bowl and then cover it with plastic wrap again. And I'm going to be labeling them A and B just so we can see if there's any difference between the two when they cool down. Because the second one we used a different method, and then we also had a bit of dark chocolate. So that's B, which is the second one, and then A. I can already see a little bit of a difference. B is a little darker than A, because B had some dark chocolate and A is all the semi-sweet chocolate. So we'll leave it at room temperature to cool down for at least 2 hours. I actually left it to cool down overnight because I had to use it on the cake the next day. So I just left it on the counter for like overnight, yeah. So now it is nice and thick and creamy. And you can see again B is a little darker than A, but they're basically the same in consistency and smoothness. You can see how smooth and creamy it looks. This is great to fill and cover chocolate cakes or even vanilla cakes. You can use it in any kind of cake, but I really love it in chocolate cake. It just boosts the chocolate flavor. See how creamy and smooth that looks. and it tastes so good. So I'm going to be using this to fill and cover a cake. And I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to do that to show you how I filled and covered the cake in my next video. So if you love what you saw in this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't, and please stay tuned for my next video. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.